Hello. So the rice water method. Turns out we're all doing it wrong. So I've done some pretty extensive research to show you the real way to do this rinse. I'll be answering the commonly asked questions and showing you how to make the most authentically correct recipe and exactly how to use it. I'll also share some things to be wary of so you don't end up damaging your hair. And I've gone the extra mile to go a little into the science behind it so you can trust me, this video has got you covered. So why is this method even a thing? The first recorded use of this method was in the Heian period, which was this long ago. Japanese women were known to credit their long, healthy, floor-length hair to rinsing their hair with the water left over from washing rice. Nowadays, there are still cultures who use this method, most notably the Red Yao women of China. These women know their ish. So I have scoured through every bit of footage and information I could find on their method to give you the gold all in one video. But what exactly does it do? The Yao women say it keeps their hair strong, shiny, long and black. And even women as old as 80 years old in their village don't have any white hairs. I've also found some articles saying it reduces dandruff and scalp problems. And to back this up, I found a 2002 study by the NCBI who found that the starch in rice water helped heal damaged skin for people with dermatitis. The hair benefits are due to the many nutrients in rice, including amino acids, minerals, antioxidants, selenium, magnesium, folic acids, vitamins B1 through to B6, C and E, niacins, vitamin K, and inositol, to name a few. Now, inositol seems to be a pretty significant ingredient here, but I'll get to that in a minute. Because these videos take a little extra time and effort to make, it really makes a huge difference to have a sponsor. So a big thank you to Ana Luisa Jewelry who are sponsoring this video today. I've collaborated with them in the past. Their jewelry is just gorgeous, so I'm going to be wearing a couple of their pieces throughout the video. I chose these earrings from their shop because they are called Isa, which is short for Isabella in Italian, and then one of the bracelets they had, this is actually called the David bracelet. One of my best friends in the world is called David, so it's quite cute. We've got like David and Isa, and then I've got their little blue stone ring in gold as well, so I've kind of picked all gold accessories. I really like these. They're quite like heavy, but not too heavy that they weigh down your ear, but they just have like a nice like dangle, and I like how they move. It's a strange thing to say, but I have another pair of earrings from Ana Luisa and I felt exactly the same. I just love the way they move in my ears. And obviously, as this is fine jewelry, it is a little more expensive, but I do prefer to invest in fine jewelry because I find that costume jewelry and, you know, cheap jewelry goes blue and, you know, just gets all scratched up and isn't always as nice. So I just think it's really nice to have some classic pieces, and Ana Luisa never fails to impress me. I would definitely recommend Ana Luisa if you're looking for some nice, simple, classic jewelry, but they also have quite a few little unique pieces on their website as well. One of the reasons their jewelry is so wonderful is that it's actually less harmful to the environment. It takes 20 tons of earth mining to produce one gold ring, but Ana Luisa uses 100% recycled gold and silver, and their diamonds are sustainably lab grown rather than mined. Interestingly, their jewelry comes from the same jewelers as Tiffany and Louis Vuitton, and some of their pieces have even been featured in Vogue magazine. If you're at all interested, you can get 10% off by using the code Isabella10. The link to their shop is below. Moving on. Now, inositol is a carbohydrate contained in rice, and I did find one study on its effects on the hair. So this study was conducted by Spring 8, which is a synchrotron radiation facility in Japan. So on the figure on the right, you can see the warm colors here. This shows the inositol concentration is higher along the outer contour of the hair, which is the dashed line. They state that this is the first ever quantitative visualization of the penetration and persistence of inositol, a hair protecting ingredient, into the hair. But it's important to remember that the purpose of this research may have been for commercial interests. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I've left my sources below so you can read further into that if you want. But how does it keep their hair from going grey? It's thought that this method maintains hair colour due to the high amount of vitamin B. This promotes the production of melanin, which is a key pigment to maintaining colour. but keep in mind this could also be down to the genetics of certain cultures and ethnicities. Interesting stuff, right?
Yeah.
So now let's make this recipe. First things first, what rice do you use? The Yao women use plain white rice. Don't use brown rice, it's too rich in protein, and don't use cooked or instant rice, it's lower in nutrients. Special secret, one of the Yao women mentioned that sticky rice is even better, so I managed to track down some where I live, and that's what I'll be using today. First, rinse the rice. This just gets rid of any dirt and dust. It's unclear whether the Yao women do this, but their rice is probably a lot cleaner in the first place. Next, wash the rice. This is different from the initial rinse. The women are really thorough, washing the rice between their hands like this to get all the properties needed out of the rice. Now, this is the part a lot of people seem to get wrong. There seems to be a viral method floating around the internet, leaving the rice and the water in a jar overnight. Maybe this does something, I don't know, but for the sake of being accurate, let's go with the Yao. So after washing the rice, the women actually discard the rice and boil the remaining water with a few other ingredients. The women make huge batches of this stuff, so it's unclear how much for one use, but I went with 1 cup of rice and 4 cups of water, which turned out to be exactly 1 jar full. I don't think it matters too much, but if you're worried about the protein, which I'll get to at the end of the video, try diluting it with more water. And of course, fresh spring water will be the best choice, but filtered or distilled water will be better than tap water. By the way, if you are liking this video so far, please give me a little thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please do subscribe. According to this woman, some families even add their own secret ingredients, but they most commonly use pomelo peel, which is a type of citrus fruit. Now, because pomelo isn't commonly available, most people on the internet seem to use orange peel, but I did a little bit of research and I found out that grapefruit is actually the most closely related fruit to pomelo. So you best believe I went out and bought a grapefruit. I used all the peel from 1 whole grapefruit, and how beautiful is this grapefruit? It just looked and smelled absolutely divine. And of course, you don't want to waste this beautiful grapefruit, so I put this aside to eat later on. Special secret. In another video, it's mentioned that they add herbs and certain oils, and I managed to find out that they use the mashed up remnants of tea plant seeds, which they use to make cooking oil. Again, this ingredient is not so readily available where I live, but I imagine that essential or herbal oils will work in a similar way, so I'm going to use lavender oil. Next, they boil it. It's unclear how long they boil it for, but there's no mention that this takes very long, so I'm assuming just around 10 to 15 minutes. And after it's boiled, this mixture is then stored and fermented before using it. Some recipes online instruct to soak the rice in the water for a few hours, but I'm pretty sure this is useless. You need to ferment it for maximum effects, and it lowers the pH, which can be really helpful to closing the hair cuticle. So you can check out my hair science video if you want to know more on that. But how long do you ferment it for? Right, this is where I heard a bunch of different information. The method that we've come to know through YouTube says to leave it for 24 hours, and many say that if it's left any longer than 2 to 3 days, it will go bad. The Yao women, however, say that they ferment it for 2 weeks to 1 month. And in another video, a mother and daughter explain that they leave it for at least 1 week. I've heard from another source that they leave it up to 3 months. So for time's sake, I left mine for 1 whole week. Right, now we've got our mixture. How do we use it? So the women use just this mixture alone to wash their hair. Now this probably won't work the same for those of us who are used to using products, so generally I've seen people use it after shampooing and conditioning, but out of curiosity I thought I'd try it the traditional way. Also, the Yao women apply it with their head over a bucket, so I did this too.
So cold.
Also, if you know about the inversion method, this is really good for circulation. You just want to saturate all of your hair and your scalp, and you can massage it into the scalp for that extra bit of love. Now, I found that the mixture didn't smell bad at all, which loads of people on the internet were saying. I did use quite a bit of grapefruit peel, so it just smelled really citrusy. As for the consistency, it felt kind of slippery in my hair, almost like a watery conditioner, which I definitely wasn't expecting. So here I'm just squeezing out the excess, and now we need to leave this in. But Isabella, how long for? Well, some people on the interwebs have said to leave this in as little as 2 minutes, 10 minutes, as long as 1 to 2 hours. Apparently this depends on your hair's sensitivity to protein, but the Yao women say they leave it on for 20 to 30 minutes, so I decided on 20. So they rinse theirs out in fresh spring river water, which they credit to playing a big part in the health of their hair. So if you want to get real authentic, go for it, but I'm just going to use the cleanest water available to me, which is filtered water. This is the problem with washing your hair upside down. When you flip it back, it's kind of tangled, but I have like a super soft towel. I am looking into getting another microfiber towel because I know towels aren't good, but this is like the softest one I have. I never rubbed my hair. I just really gently blot out the water. Okay, I'm back. My hair has completely air dried. My hair is just being my hair. This is how it always looks when it air dries. So obviously my hair is not going to look like the Yao women of China. They have been doing this all of their lives, so their hair's obviously used to it. I think my hair is doing this because it's transitioning to wavy, so I am going to be implementing techniques for the curly girl method into my hair again. I might check in maybe tomorrow to update you once the frizz has settled, but this is what I'm working with at the moment. So it is the next day. I slept with my silk cap as I usually do, either that or a silk pillowcase or a satin pillowcase. So my hair has calmed down a little bit. I just wanted to show you what it looks like. Straight after air drying is when my hair looks the worst. So usually second day hair, it looks a little bit more tamed, but I will say that obviously because the rice water isn't a shampoo, my hair is still pretty greasy. I will say my hair was really easy to detangle. It had a lot of slip to it. It's quite easy to just run my fingers through, and it was very easy to brush. And obviously I use a very wide toothed brush, and I'm very gentle if I'm brushing my hair while it's wet. Most of my daily life I let my hair be. I just literally let it be how it wants to be. One of the reasons this needs to be rinsed out is because too much protein can cause protein overload, leading to brittle hair and breakage. Now this is really important, especially in terms of how often this method should be used. So the Yao women say that they wash their hair this way every 2 to 3 days, but I'd strongly suggest using this method sparingly. You got to keep in mind that the cultures that use this method have become accustomed to it. Their hair type is unique to their own ethnicity, so it can't be promised that this will work the same on other hair types. Many women on YouTube have explained that by using the rinse as much as once a week, their hair was left frizzy, dry and stiff, and this is due to the excess protein. I mean, this could be because they were simply doing the method wrong. I'm not 100% sure, and personally I don't want to risk damaging my own hair by testing this, but I will probably give it another go in the future. If you're worried about the protein, some sources suggest diluting the mixture with water before rinsing, but it totally depends on your hair type and what it needs. So I'd say give it a go. It's not going to hurt your hair after one use, and if it works well for your hair, maybe try it again the following month. So there you go, that should be everything you need to know about the rice water method in its truest form. Don't forget you can find me on social media, all of the usual are on the screen now. I also have an acting Instagram which I'm trying to grow my audience on, so my username is Isabella Byford. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you learned something new, I definitely did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.